Hey guys, it's Therian quads, also known as oat milk. The air conditioner just came on, sorry about that. So I did a video like a year or two ago where I was practicing vocals and like doing like a little mini tutorial. And today I'm also going to be kind of doing that, except I'm also going to be demonstrating body language. I've also, I think, perfected, or at least gotten better at a lot of my vocals, so I can do a better tutorial for you guys. I also have a whole other separate video on purring, but I'm also going to include purring in this video. So, speaking of purring, we're actually going to start with that. So purring is usually related to felines. Not all big felines can purr. Some bigger cats cannot purr, whereas the smaller ones, like domesticated cats, can. So I'm going to be demonstrating a purr. There's several different methods for purring, which I'm not going to completely get into, but you can use as a method where you can use your tongue kind of to go up and down and make it, but I prefer using the one in the throat. It just feels and is more natural for me, and it's easier. So what you're going to want to do is kind of talk staticky, I'm sure you maybe did this as a kid, so this is probably going to be the most difficult step, and you're just going to do that with your mouth open at first. So wow, 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 like that. And the next step is more easy, and you're just going to do it with your mouth closed. So I don't know if you can really see my mask, but yeah. And over time, you want to get it steadier, longer, louder, or quieter, depending on what you want, what type of big cat you are, or small cat. So yeah. And now I'm going to talk about body language. So when you're purring, when cats purr, they often are in a resting position. Maybe if they're really comfortable, they'll be snuggled or curled up or arms splayed out. So to really get, I think, the perfect vocals, you're going to want to first perfect the body language that goes along with the vocals, because cats and felines and really a lot of animals communicate primarily with their body language rather than vocals, because they have a much lower vocal range, and that's just what natural instincts say. Humans, like I'm doing right now, often use our hands to communicate and kind of indicate things as well. So I'm going to give a demonstration of purring, and I think this also really helps if you want to try shifting. So I'm going to get into a regular cat stance. I really like this one because my human body kind of allows me to do this, and you can use paws, or you can do this. I know some people prefer doing this because it's the ligaments, and I like doing it too, but I think I've just associated these paws with it for so long. So yeah, and then I'm going to purr, and I think it really just brings out the emotion in your purr, if that makes sense. I also think that being in a position like that kind of constricts your breathing, perhaps how it normally is with cats or something, because I feel like it sounds just a bit more genuine. I don't know if it's because I'm just shifting more or what it is, but yeah, so that was purring, and I'm going to move on to the next one now, so let me know. The next one on the list is mewing, and no, not that kind of mewing. A mew is a very soft sound, usually created from kittens. It can indicate being hungry or just a playful attitude. It can pretty much is just a calling for the mother usually. So you want to be really expressive, you're calling for someone, but it's also very faint because you're just a little tiny kitten. That's what a mew is. So you also kind of want to say the word mew when you're doing it. That way it's different from a mule or a meow. So yeah. And again, with the body language, you maybe want to crouch down or something that can summon the mother, okay? Also, closing your eyes when you do a mew or a very soft one kind of helps a bit, because it's your eyes aren't even opened yet, so that could help you to shift. Yeah, so let me demonstrate again. So some days are going to be better for vocals. This is actually not my best day because my throat just isn't cooperating with me today. However, there were some days where I'm better and some days where I'm definitely a lot worse than this, so just kind of had to pick a day to do this video. And it just didn't happen my best day, and that's okay because it takes a really long time to perfect or even do it at all. So yeah, I mean, we're not really built to do it. And next I'm going to show a mule, which is very similar to a mew. So with a mew, it's, you're barely pronouncing that M. In fact, you're mostly just doing the like ew part, right? However, with a mule, you want to pronounce the M a little bit more, and you definitely want to pronounce that L at the end. But also, not really. So it's, the body language is pretty much the exact same as a mew, except you maybe want to be a little bit more forceful with your pause, or maybe you really want to close your eyes on this. It might be like a little bit more forceful, a little bit more louder than a mew, but just slightly. So I'm going to show it again. So yeah, that's my interpretation. Obviously everyone's going to be like a little bit different. Everyone's going to have a little bit of a different interpretation, and that's cool too. I mean, every cat is unique. Every person, creature, everything is unique. So we're all going to have different vocal ranges, just different ways we prefer doing it. It's really just whatever you prefer, whatever makes you feel shifty, and yeah. So let me check my list again. I'm going to be doing the mule. It's really hard to pronounce. Okay, so a mew is M-E-W. Mule is M-E-W-L, but mule is M-R-E-W-L. So you're going to want to pronounce the R as well. Pretty much exactly the same as a mule, but mule is just like maybe like apprentice's age, if you've read Warrior Cats, like 6 months. Not a kitten, definitely not an adult either, will be doing the mule. Okay, it's just like a bit louder, you're doing the R, your vocal cords are being more defined, and maybe your eyes are completely open, or, yeah, probably completely open at this point. So I actually just, I don't know why, but I love sitting when I do this particular one. So I got my chair here, and I don't know why. It's just, something about it really takes me back. I've talked to other people, and they say that sitting has nothing to do with it, but maybe you want to try that for all these, or some of these, or whatever you want. But yeah, I'm going to sit, and I feel like it just makes it sound better. And feel free to like open your mouth up and down, your breathing. Feel free to play with all of that to get your own unique sounding meow or mew or whatever. And you know, we want every time to sound a little bit different, but you really want to put your heart into it. So like, if you're feeling hungry and you want to practice vocals where you sound hungry, just really focus on that emotion of being hungry. Or if you're really happy, focus on that emotion of being happy and really bring it out in your voice. Like some singers will like really put like their passion, their whole heart, their actual sadness, their anger, whatever, into their song or music. So you want to do the exact same thing towards your vocals, and it's just going to sound a lot more realistic. For if you want to go for realism, if you want to go for just having fun, do whatever you want. Whatever makes you shift the best may not sound exactly like a cat, because when you're accessing that part of your brain or your spirituality or whatever you do to access that meowing or vocals. Yeah, Dad? Oh, I'm back. I just had delicious spaghetti that I made myself. My dad wanted me to help. What was I doing again? Okay, right. Vocals. Okay. I think we left off on the mule, and I was talking about, you know, let me look at the footage again. Sorry. What I was trying to say earlier is that just because your meow or whatever your vocals is doesn't sound exactly realistic, it still may trigger a shift far more even if you like to practice and try to make it sound realistic, because you're accessing the same part of your brain, especially if you had past lives, that was already doing the vocals. So when you're a cat, you access a certain part of your feline brain to meow, for example. However, when that, I think, at least in my case, carried on with me so that I access the same part of my brain, so that when I meow again in this form, it may sound different because I have different vocal cords, so it may not sound necessarily realistic, but it still like triggers that response for me because that's how I did it before. And so that's kind of just my explanation. If you didn't have past lives, which I know a lot of people don't, they're just psychological then maybe it's just like built into your DNA or your instincts to do that. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that really quickly. So don't worry too much. As long as you're just having fun with it and you just feel shifty or whatever you want your goal is, then nothing's wrong. All right, let me show you guys the next one. So now we're going to move on to the meows, the whole group of meows. But we're going to start off with a basic meow. So unlike a mew, the meow comes more from your like chest area rather than your throat, because older cats or just older felines in general they're not kittens, so they're just bigger and they sound bigger, I guess. Okay, so a meow, you're going to try and pronounce the whole thing, but not make it sound like a human. Does that make sense? Okay. Meow, meow, meow. And sometimes you don't really want to pronounce the M either. Like the first letter is pretty much silent, but it's just having just a tiny little hint, just a pinch. Meow, meow, meow. It's sounding a little more cartoony right now, so let's see if I can try and make it more realistic. Just for the sake of the video. Come on, voice. Meow. God, I need water. Acquired. Okay, let's try this again. Meow. New voice unlocked? What the heck was that? Okay. Meow. 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 That one was good. Meow. Meow. And as you can see, I just naturally tilt my head upwards, but not all the way up like I would with a yowl. With the meow, I just do tilt it up a bit. I think this is like my response to like seeing my owner or just something above me ready to give me food. Or maybe just like looking up to the sky, looking at birds or something like that. Meow. 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 So you want to do like an ow at the end. So it's not, you really want to pronunciate that E-O-W, eow kind of. Meow. Meow. Yeah, and next I'm going to move on to the M-R-E-O-W, the meow. So you want to pronounce the R more. Meow, 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 meow. It sounds just a little bit sadder, I think. And yeah, kind of like the difference between mew and real. Mule. Yeah, you just pronounce the R. Meow, 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 meow. See, I feel like just my vocal range, I can do like sadder sounding ones a lot more. And I think a lot of cat or feline meowing sounds kind of sad by human standards, but it could just mean a perfectly happy thing. So if you want to do a meow, but you want to sound happy, you can do both, especially if you use your body language. So, meow, 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 meow. And like the more drawn out it is, the sadder it's going to like seem. Also, I think like the sharper it is, like the more clear it's going to sound probably, and the happier you're probably going to seem, at least by the human sense. And let me see the meow and the meow. So now we're going to do the meowl. The meowl is very similar to the yowl, except you're going to have more of an M than a Y. So a yowl, you're going to really pronounce that Y. I will show you that later. But the meowl is going to be with the M. The meow. M-E-O-W-L. Yeah. Meow. 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 And they sound very similar. Sometimes you're going to mess up and like say the wrong one when you mean a different one. I feel like it really doesn't matter as long as what you're trying to say is coming through. So, I mean, cats are relatively simple compared to the complexity of human speech patterns. So, like, it's like you can't really convey a whole lot through just vocals. Body language, again, really, really important for cats. So, really hungry is like the main one that you always want to do. Maybe affection would be like purring, pain, frustration / anger / defending your territory, all kind of the same thing. So the meow doesn't really come up a lot. Usually you do a meow or a meow. At least in my past lives, it just didn't come up that much. I don't have like that many instincts towards it, but it is pretty fun to try, just to change it up. And the last one is going to be the meow, which is the M-R-E-O-W-L. So it's the R and the L added to the meow, so you're going to pronounce the whole thing. It's going to be a little bit longer than all the rest. Meow. It's going to sound like that, but it wasn't a very good one. Let's see. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, and I'm always like tilted up to the sky when I do these, just naturally. But you can also do it while dipping your head low and then bringing it all the way up like this. Meow, meow, meow. Just to really get that emphasis going. And yeah, so that was all of the meows, like that little section there. So we did purring, the mews, and the meows, and now we're going to move on to slightly more complicated ones. This next block, I mean, I'm kind of doing it in blocks, but not really. I mean, some of these are just kind of like out of order, but I'm trying to like keep them like blocks. Okay, so the next couple are going to be with your mouth completely closed. So you're not going to open your mouth to do these at all. I mean, with the purring at the beginning, you don't open your mouth, but there's also the option, if you do a different kind of purring than from what I do, to open your mouth. So basically, you're going to be making sounds with your mouth closed. I feel like cats actually use these a lot. The bigger cats, not so much. They often open their mouths when they, meow or grumble or whatever. But at least for the smaller felines, I find that they use like super high-pitched frequencies with their mouth completely closed. And I'm just kind of repeating myself. I don't have really a script, guys. I'm sorry. But I hope this is like at least a little bit informative. Okay. So we are going to start with the murmur. The murmur is very quiet. It's a warning, a very, very faint warning. Usually it's a warning between litter mates or close cats that don't want to be mean about it, but just like, hey, this is my space, please back off. So I'm going to get a little bit close because it might be a little bit hard to hear, and I'm going to give an example. It's like that. It's a lot of very short things. So it's like, try speaking as a human. I'm going to say, hello, what is your name? But without opening my mouth. Hello. But, so you're just going to do meows and whatever you want, but very quietly, very short, and without opening your mouth like I just did in English. So it can also be a shying thing, which is why my paws are kind of automatically doing this, but you can also be flexing your claws. I'm not quite sure what this motion is. I just do it automatically. So, I mean, that might just be like flexing my claws, preparing like, hey, back off. But it can also be maybe like a shy away thing. Again, every person's different. They're going to react differently. This is just kind of me, and yeah. I think there's a cat on YouTube. I think his name is Sven. I could be wrong, could be mixing up my cats on YouTube, but I think he does something pretty similar pretty often. Yeah, so next we're going to be moving on to turtles and chortles. So the difference between a turtle and a chortle is very, very tiny difference. A turtle is going to be much lower pitched, and a chortle is going to be higher pitched. And it's going to be very similar to a murmur, except it's going to be longer, and each note is going to be longer. So let me give an example of a chortle first. And now let me give an example of a chortle. So it's basically just a combination of sounds, a little bit longer than a murmur. And up next is the chatter, which is like two cats talking together, but you're going to be using it as one creature. So, yeah. Why did that kind of sound like a song for a second? Like a melody, almost. Okay, that's not my goal. Chatters are literally never used. For some reason, you're a feline and you're talking to yourself. Comes in handy. So for the chatter, chortle, and chortle, body language is just going to be pretty much whatever you want to be. It can just be, walking along, or pretty much anything, because it's just, you're just sitting there and you're talking basically. This communication is only for cats to cats, not really cats to humans or cats to other animals. It's not a warning threat, it's just like making conversation. How's your day been? Hey, welcome to my territory, or welcome to my home. Welcome to my den. So yeah, these are just kind of basic greetings. Body language is going to be like really pleasant, maybe like stretching, or if you're on the ground, lying on your side, just maybe even with your belly exposed, because it's just going to be really friendly. And if you have a tail, the tail's going to be wagging, and yeah, just a friendly greeting. It's a collection of things to be said. Next, we're going to do a hum. Now, a hum is like a purr, but without fluctuating up and down. A hum is usually used in sleep when the cat is trying to purr, but is literally so tired it doesn't feel like purring. So I'm going to get on the floor to really get into the body language of this. I'm a sleeping cat. And yeah, that's a hum. It's kind of like the cat equivalent of snoring. Or is purring the equivalent of snoring? Either way, that is the hum. So that body language is going to be used when you're napping or sleeping. Usually in a deep sleep for me personally. I will make that noise. One is very short, sharp, sweet. It's just usually a frustration, or kind of sounds like a sneeze. Can be used just to clear the cat's throat. So it's going to be like a... So it can either be like a throat thing, like... or like a snort. Or maybe a combination if you want to do two grunts. Yeah, that's a pretty simple one. This video is a lot about body language relating to vocals. So for that, probably I'm gonna assume just standing still, maybe on the alert, and you want to clear your senses. You're hunting for prey, or you're looking for predators, and you're just clearing your senses to be on the alert. One of my personal favorites, the long-awaited yowl. So it's going to be like a meow, but more forceful, more everything. But it's not going to be a warning or anger. It's going to be like triumph, basically. And you're going to shout it to the high heavens. And you're really going to pronounce that Y. And you're going to use a huge body language, like a big swoop like this. Again, my personal preference. Everyone is different. I cannot stress this enough. This video is mostly just help people who may have similarities with me, or just want to experiment with new ways, or learn how to do vocals, and see how body language just relates in general. Meow. It's pretty fun. I'm sorry. My dad is in the other room, and he's probably like, what on earth is she doing? Yeah. Meow. 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 Voila, you have your yowl. Let me do it in a quad format, because I haven't really done that a lot in this video. I personally don't love quads. I think it's really fun. I think it's a great way, but I think being on two legs just gives you a lot of advantages, because it's what your human body is physically capable of, is physically made for doing. At least if you have two legs. Yeah, but for the average person, for most people, two legs is what your human body is made for doing. So you just open up a lot more options than having to balance on your little tiny arms. Even people who are super good, super skilled, do it for years. They still can't go more than 40, 50 feet at absolute most before being absolutely exhausted, and it wrecks your wrists, and there's a lot of other reasons. But I do think it's really fun. Even if it doesn't look elegant, it can feel really, really empowering, really, really shifty. So yeah, I'm gonna give an example. Yow. Meow. 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 And yeah, that was the example. I hope this video is being informative so far. We still have a little ways to go. Now we have the rumble, grumble, and growl. So for the first two, you're not going to be opening your mouth whatsoever. I want it zipped, all right? So the rumble is softer than the grumble, and it's the very first beginning of saying, hey, it's time, we're going to fight. The rumble is, hey, I'm going to give you a chance to get away from me. And usually it's much shorter than that. It's like a very, very hint of warning, and it's going to immediately escalate to a growl. And that is going to immediately escalate to a growl. Yeah, it's going to really sound like a race car. But from personal experience and just hanging out with my own cat here, that's exactly what happens every time she sees another cat she wants to fight. So I'm going to give you all three of them together. Feel free to really get into it, especially if you're like play fighting with a friend or your own animal. You may stress out your animal, so be careful about that. But you know, it can just be really fun to start initiating a play fight, or you know, even a real fight. I don't know what you all do in your free time, but yeah. Now let's pretend that we are fighting another feline, another cat, right? After we express the grumble, rumble, and growl, we are going to immediately go into a battle cry. They are not backing away, they are on your territory, and they are here to stay, or at least try to, because we are going to defend our territory. We are going to take a first invisible swipe. It is not going to be anywhere near them. It's going to be the very last, it's just going to be, not a warning, it's the show of your power. Hey, I got claws too, I'm going to fight back, alright? I need you, and even if you run away right now, I'm going to fight anyway. So this is going to be the battle cry. I love the battle cry. It is initiating, it is kind of like a screech, but not quite. It is super clear, super crisp. And that's like a higher pitched battle cry. We try and do a lower one. So when you like, if you're doing like the paw, like I'm doing, you want to unsheath your claws, kind of like that. Yeah, it's just a human hand. I mean, it's not great. It's not ideal, obviously, but I actually don't have them with me right now. But if you have like little claws or like super sharp nails just on, that can be a really, really great way to shift. So you know what? I'm gonna do the whole thing, grumble, all the way to battle cry. Alright, I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. Practicing a long time. No, but there are people that are definitely a lot better than me. Some of you viewers are probably a lot better. I've only been doing it for like 6 or 7 years, and obviously there are adults that have been doing it for like 10, 20 years, way more than that, 50. So, yeah, but I hope this tutorial is helping so far. And we're gonna move on to more of like the angst now. I audibly cringed when saying that, but you know what? We're here to have fun, guys, okay? This is so fun. So with the snarl, it's going to sound a little bit like a hiss. For dog, it's going to, you know, actually like make a noise in their throat, but for snarling, for feline, it's just going to be like air pretty much, but not a hiss, because a hiss, you want to go back with all your air. A snarl, just a little bit of air, and you're going to like curl up your mouth. So. Okay, that's a snarl, and similar to that is a hiss. But as far as body language goes, gonna put that in again, a hiss is gonna be like moving backwards, kind of. You're gonna wanna like go all the way in your stance, you're backing up, and you're ready to swipe at their nose or their ear specifically. So like a snake hiss would be like, not really good, I've never really practiced snake hiss, obviously. But it's going to be like using your teeth more. That's what my friend said. But you're going to be using all your air, all the lungs. You're going to feel a little bit lightheaded after doing a hiss, especially multiple in a row. So, yeah, you're going to be completely arching your back usually. You're going to be like, your fur is all going to be bristled up, or, you know, at least your shoulders or whatever you can make bristled. And you're just going to be like super, super ready to strike at any second. Maybe do like a fake out and then swipe again. Yeah, you can't really like hold a hiss for a long period of time because it's exhausting, and you definitely need water afterward, and you may even need to sit down. Yeah. Here is a deal breaker. The final finishing move of the fight, you're going to use the caterwaul. And I'm probably going to scare every person in this neighborhood around my house. But, like, a big cat fight's going on over there. What's going on? Yeah. It's just going to be super duper long as you can possibly make it. You're going to need a big breath, even bigger breath than a hiss. I could probably do a little better. Sometimes, like, when I'm doing these videos, I practice a little bit before, but when I do it, I still, like, I completely blank, so it takes me a few tries, so, bear with me, guys. Okay, that one was okay. I rate that a 7 out of 10. Why am I going so low? I didn't take it. Okay. And, yeah. So I don't really use that too often, because I don't really got no place to do it. My dad is definitely going to be questioning me after this. But, yeah. So when you're doing the caterwaul, I'm not demonstrating again, because I don't want to draw attention to myself. Okay. You're going to be, like, stalking slowly forward, or, you know, maybe from this side if you're left-handed. Your dominant hand is probably going to be in the back, at least that's how I stalk. I think that's a good way to stalk. And if you're, you know, doing quads, you're going to be, like, super narrow, super close to the ground, shuffling. And then the final blow, maybe even, like, you know, like, it's just a bad idea, bro. But, like jumping and administering the final blow, kind of like in Warrior Cat's cut. Like, Firestar, I think, killed Scourge, and he, like, completely, like, did, like, the final blow, or, like, Sparrowfur trying to kill One Eye in Dawn of the Clans. If you ever read Warrior Cats. Yeah. Warrior Cats, definitely recommend. I am rereading the whole series, my friend. So, yeah. I'm going to be moving on to more pain ones. So, ones that are specifically for pain. Those were, like, specifically, like, angry ones, fighting ones, and now we're going to move on to ones for pain. Maybe you're injured from the fight. Building a whole story now where you're injured from the fight, you're limping, you're wailing, but you did win. That's the important part. You have a yelp. Maybe you stick your pad on a thorn, your little toe beans get, like, all hurt. Aw. And, you're going to yelp. So, this is the yelp. I always do, like, a little jump because it's literally when I always, like, step on something sharp or, like, hot concrete. And then a bleat is very similar, but it's for younger cats, so kittens. Bleating, they are not bleeding, bleat. They're going to be crying for their mom, like a lamb bleats for its mother, a cat version. Wait, did I just think about lambs and then make one that sounds exactly like one? Let's do a cat version. I'm losing my mind, guys. We're almost done, so close. Just have a few more left, guys. So let's do that. A whine and a whimper. A whine is more quiet than a whimper. It's shorter and it's gonna be like all shriveled up, probably cold from the rain. And whimper's a little bit louder. You're regaining just a little bit of strength, but it still hurts so bad, and you're so cold. Or maybe you're in a shelter and you're trapped. Bad memories coming back. Alright. Now for the final three. Cry, wail, and howl. I'm going from least quiet to most loudest, what we've been doing this whole time. So a cry is... yeah, so similar to the whine and the whimper, you're gonna be like shriveled up, all sad like. I came out a little sarcastic, I'm sorry guys. I don't know how to do these videos, I don't got no script, I'm just like kind of going off my head, you know. Then a wail, pretty loud. Maybe it's time for a vet appointment. And a howl is, I'm on my deathbed. I'm gonna miss y'all, but I'm stranded out here and you guys are miles away, so I hope you guys can hear this. And yeah, so that was all the sounds that I have prepared. If you guys have like some sounds or noises you didn't hear on this pretty long list, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know if you have any more video ideas or anything like that. Yeah. Okay, so I just kind of feel so awkward doing the video. Thank you so much for 2,500 subscribers and all the people in my Google Classroom and all people talking about, you know, my cat who passed away yesterday. I mean, if you don't see me sad, it's because I'm just trying to like distract myself from it, and you know, she was 18 years old. I had a lot of time to prepare, so that helped. Sorry to make it all sad at the end, but I did have to, you know, euthanize her. She was in a lot of pain, kidney failure, all kinds of stuff. I mean, she was so old, 4 years older than me, guys. So yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk about it. I'm kind of like disguising the pain, I guess. I don't know. But this video kind of really did help me take my mind off of it. So I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support and everything. Yeah, I'm wearing a mask mostly because I am crying a bit. I didn't really want that in the video. So, yeah, I just thank you guys again. So I will see you guys in the next video, and I will be posting more shorts soon. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I have so much to edit now. Bye.